welcome to the Infinity Bros podcast, the only podcast that is perfectly balanced as all things should be. I'm your host, Max Mosier, here today, wherever you're listening, however you're listening. Thanks for listening to our podcast. I'm here today with two other Infinity Bros today. First, it is Infinity Bro Robbie as he's stroking his hat. Robbie, how are you?
I'm not doing the best because my fantasy football quarterback just had his brain scrambled, but I'm happy to be here with the bros.
Sports.
Yay, team.
And with the red tint background like his beard, it is Infinity Bro Mark. Mark, how are you?
Glad to be back. Glad to be here for the Infinity Bros universe as always. Well, I'm tongue-tied again, like Max.
Good start.
Oh, man.
Mark, would you rather visit every national park or every country in Europe?
Ooh, that's actually a tough one.
Means you'd have to go to Europe.
Europe is not bad. There's parts of it that are okay. Depends on where you're at.
Oh, yeah, because you would know, because you've privilege.
I did. I lived there. Yeah, you're welcome. That's not a victory sip. That's a stating a fact sip.
I think I would go with European countries. I'd visit all of them. It'd be fun.
Robbie would. No, I'm not gonna. I had a question, and I'm not gonna ask it because I know you well.
Oh, ask me the question then.
Well, now I want to know.
Nope, I don't think I'm gonna ask you that question either.
What?
No, I'm not.
Now you're just teasing the people.
The question that I was gonna ask was, Robbie, would you rather road trip with your parents or Jessica's parents? And I was like, not gonna ask that one. So, and then I pivoted away, and now you're making me ask the question anyway. So, thank you. Here we go. So, Mark, Robbie, would you rather get caught stealing or caught lying?
What am I stealing?
I don't know.
What am I lying about?
Haven't a clue.
What would I steal?
Is it like how long before, if Jarrett was on this episode, would he go, "Oh, my heart"?
Finger guns.
You know, Jarrett would say something stupid like that if he was on right now.
Probably. Which would I rather get caught doing?
Sure.
I'd rather get caught stealing. I feel like lying would be a little more personal. Would probably hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
Like stealing just disappoints somebody.
Yeah. Or you're just making Target mad.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got a jam-packed show for you today. We're going to be talking about Robbie has in the Patreon pre-show, where if you're a Patreon exclusive follower, you get extra content, extra half an hour of us talking. He shared that he believes the fall of the MCU is happening. So we'll talk about that. Because we're going to talk about She-Hulk episode 7 today. And we're also going to talk about some Marvel news. There's a lot of Marvel news that has come out the last week that we need to catch up on. We did get a new review. A new rating on iTunes. We got another 5-star rating. So thank you to whoever put that out there. We appreciate you. You can leave us a review or rating on iTunes, Spotify, or Podbean. We will read it on the air if you do so. So please make sure you do that. Thank you so much to whoever did that. We're grateful to you. Mark, we're going to talk about She-Hulk. Robbie did not watch it this week because, he's Robbie. And
busy guy. Okay, busy.
That's it. That's the problem for sure. That's totally it. Mark, can you remind the audience, or maybe somebody that's new to our audience, how have you felt about She-Hulk through this series so far, through 6 episodes?
I think it's a breath of fresh air. That's my honest opinion. It's kind of it's quirky. It's fun. It's not what you expect. I would say, I think it's episode 5, the one before, like the one last week, probably was my least favorite. But I kind of just like the non-serious nature they're taking so far. So it makes me wonder, it's like, are they going to eventually get serious, or are they going to keep the same tone? But I would 100% recommend anybody to watch this. Like, if I'm going to bring a show to someone new and them to like this stuff, this is probably the show I might show them.
Of all the shows, including WandaVision.
Oh, you're right.
Loki.
It'd be WandaVision or She-Hulk.
I was going to say, for you, Loki would be mine, I think, right now. But maybe. Maybe. Yeah, I mean, through 6 episodes on my end, Robbie, I'll ask you in a sec, too, even though you didn't see the 7th episode. this show is very close to me to being my favorite MCU show, Mark, simply for the fact that it is doing what the others couldn't, in the sense of the consequences are staying minimal, so it doesn't affect the rest of the universe. And that allows your character to still get depth while also taking unique decision-making, goofy, true comedic choices.
So you're telling me She-Hulk won't fight a giant Egyptian god at any point?
I would personally love that. Personally, I actually like that this character doesn't want to fight things right now. I like that that's the side of this character we're getting right now. There will come a point where she has to shift on that. That's just not who she is today. And I'm okay with that. And no, actually, Mark, I agree with you. This is for sure at least top 2 for me. Loki is either 1 or 2. But right now, this is my favorite show outside of the rest of them right now. And so coming into episode 7, I've been very excited to see what this show could do. Robbie, what have you been your thoughts through 6 episodes?
Zane said this in the chat earlier, and I think it's just the best kind of idea with this, or way to put it, I suppose, is that this could have like 20 to 25 episodes and be like kind of like Friends. And it's just like you just get to see her like living her life, like almost as a sitcom. And I think it would be enjoyable the entire time. My one issue that I could say is that it seemed like at the beginning of this season that there was going to be more of a serious, like there was going to be a serious undertone, where it seems like that's kind of gone away the last few episodes. I don't know, maybe if you guys are feeling that. Maybe it came back up in this newest episode, but okay. Well, so there you go.
Until the very end. Until the
very end, sure. So like that's the only thing I'm like, okay, like I am enjoying it. I am enjoying it. I don't want that to seem like I'm like ragging on it, but like it's like is there like a story that I'm following, or am I just like enjoying these like short little stories? Like every episode's just its own little story. Like what am I supposed to
in her life?
Like yeah, like what am I like the MCU model is that like eventually she fights somebody and it's like a big glorious fight and she wins kind of thing. And if this isn't the MCU model, you know, I'm not against that. Because then no great supervillains have to die. So, you know.
We know Robbie hates when supervillains have to die.
But Robbie, this is kind of the direction that Marvel has been needing to go with how much content they're creating.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm with you on that. I think Marvel ran into a pickle when we've gotten more hours the last 14 months than we did ever before in the MCU. I think I'm with you on it. It's just been Mark, you said the term breath of fresh air. I think that is a very fair assessment. This is its own unique genre. It does really fit into the Friends, How I Met Your Mother, Ally McBeal rom comedy a little bit. And I've been thankful for that. I'm interested to hear Mark's thoughts on episode 7 here.
This is what the vibe She-Hulk gives off is what Miss Marvel should have been.
100%.
That's like at least those 2 shows should have been pretty much the same like vibe, in my opinion.
Only one was a teenage, the other one was a 30-year-old adult.
Yeah, like I was expecting a CW teenage drama type of show, drama comedy, whatever. And then that's not at all really what we got. Like you kind of got the first 2 episodes and then it's like completely tone change.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. But we're not here to talk about Miss Marvel again.
We're not here to talk about Miss Marvel again, even though it's, in my opinion, probably the worst.
Did you say you haven't seen that yet, Rob?
I watched the first 2 episodes and was very uninterested. It's something I'll probably get around to eventually, but yeah, just don't really care about it.
It was rough. It was a rough watch. Before we dive into episode 7, we want to make sure you're familiar with our rating system and how we rate things on the show.
Here on the Infinity Bros podcast, everything is ranked from a 0 to 6 point scale. 0 meaning horrible and 6 meaning absolutely excellent. If all of the Infinity Bros rank something a 6, it gets an Infinity Step.
And we'll do the spoiler bumper warning in a moment here. Let me read the synopsis for this episode. Let me not read the synopsis real quick. That's the whole synopsis. Hold, please. Let me read the preview for this episode. Here we go. Jen visits Blonsky's wellness retreat, meets new friends, and gets in touch with her inner She-Hulk. This is directed by Anu Valia, written by Zeb Wells and Jessica Gao, who has essentially written the whole show. It stars Tatiana Maslany, Tim Roth, and Ginger Gonzaga, as well as other individuals hopping in. I won't spoil that in case people don't want to know some of the characters that appeared in this. So this is going to be your official spoiler warning.
This is
Prepare yourself.
an Infinity Bros
Prepare yourself.
spoiler warning.
And go ahead and just count the spoiler warning as the Marvel news we talk about later. We're going to talk about some Marvel news. So if we theorize or talk about future news and you don't want to know about those things, consider this your spoiler warning. So, Mark, before we dive into the whole review of the episode, can you give me your review and give me your rating, and short, brief thoughts on episode 7, The Retreat?
I think episode as a whole, probably, 5 out of 6. Wasn't one of the best, but still, like I said before, it's kind of like we just kind of venture off. We branch off into just like doing her own business. She goes and has to go check up on Blonsky because the parole officer said his cuff was offline or something like that. So like your first thought is like, oh, he's clearly become the Abomination again, is wreaking havoc or somewhere, but that wasn't the case. And then we kind of get to see as fans what's going on, what Blonsky's doing. He's kind of has like a retreat for metahumans and mystical beasts, and maybe people who think they're superheroes but really aren't. And it kind of appears that he's trying to help them overcome certain aspects in their life that are troublesome or being detrimental. And we meet some people along the way where you're thinking like, okay, be interesting how some of these people got there. And then also at the same time, I'm thinking, I feel like there's something more sinister at play here, but maybe that will be revealed down the road for us. But overall, I think it was good character building. It really shows off the difference of, or like how She-Hulk really wants to, and Jen Walters need to let some things go now that she is also has superpowers. If that makes sense. It's kind of what I got.
Yeah, this was an interesting episode, Mark, because the first half of the episode, in regards to her and Josh and that very short but very depth-filled relationship at the beginning, that was amazing. That was really great storytelling in a very short time. And then we get to Emil Blonsky's spot, and it fell flat to me. So I'm going to call this a 4 out of 6. This is the weakest episode of the series, in my opinion, so far. Some of the things you're saying are very fair and true, though, in the sense of this is, one, I love what they're doing with her character. There's just great. I said this episode 1. If I don't get good character development here, this show is going to lose me. And this show has said you're going to get cameos, but it will never be forsaking Jennifer Walters' character development. And I have appreciated that about these writers. So even though this episode was boring, pretty much for the second half for me, like not a lot really got accomplished in the second half. It grew her character. We did get to see Wrecker again from the Wrecking Crew, which was fascinating and weird.
Like, I was surprised, like, why didn't she call the police? Be like, hey, this is the guy who assaulted me.
Yeah, she's just kind of handling things on her own, but then she's a lawyer. I'm with you. It's that, and also like, why is he just like chill about that whole circumstance? Like, you said it feels like there's something sinister at play, is what you said.
Or like the other two guys that were fighting, the like Minotaur and the other guy with the sword. Like, them to just damage her car just seemed a little too convenient.
Yeah, I think they were trying to help get blood.
Yeah.
I think they're part of whatever that conglomerate is. And in my opinion, that's the Kingpin doing it, but we'll find out. It could be somebody else. down the
Are you
line.
saying is whoa?
Whoa.
You're gonna drop
Whoa. Who?
and say you think Kingpin is involved in this?
Why would Kingpin be involved?
Well, and we
seems
haven't
silly.
gotten the Daredevil episode yet, right? So there's 2 episodes left before we get this Daredevil episode.
You're going to get 1 episode of Daredevil. It's going to be like 30 seconds.
It's going to be episode 8, probably, don't you think?
It's going to be like 30 seconds of episode 8.
And he'll just be a lawyer in the.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Like, if he's coming, then that's got to make me wonder who's the big bad. There's really 2 people, in my opinion, that could want this blood that aren't new characters.
Yeah,
that is the leader, and that is Kingpin. Those 2 seem like the most logical choices with this character to be pursuing that.
Or General Ross.
Well, he's passed now. The actor that plays that is passed now, so I think they're going to move away from that
in the MCU. Well, how are we going to get Red Hulk if we don't?
I don't know, Mark. I don't know if we're going to get Red Hulk.
Give me Spider-Man.
You might have to get rid of that dream, Mark. That might not be a realistic thing.
Oh, that's too bad.
Did you even like just like these very obscure Manbill, Elgia, Porcupine, Saracen, and Wrecker of the Wrecking Crew? Like, did any of these stick out to you? Because to me, Saracen was the interesting one. I was like, oh, is this kind of like a tease to Blade here? Like, what's going on here?
Or my thought was like, hey, he's like his father's a vampire, and like no one believes him. It's like, is he a son of Blade? Is that where there's some connection is? That was my thought on that. Because supposedly the Blade movie happens between 1900 and 1980. So like potentially that kid could be born, or person could have been born in the 80s, and that could be Blade's kid for all we know. This
character, Saracen, appeared in issue number 1 of Blade.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It'll just be interesting. This episode left me with more questions than answer, but I gotta tell you what, this development of Jen experiencing this loss with Josh, where she hooks up with him, has a one-night stand with him, and spends basically the whole episode waiting for his answer and reply, that really worked for me. I really, really liked that. And I really enjoyed watching her squirm and then learn while talking with others how to process and grieve this. Her description of like the perfect athletic friend that gets all the attention, I feel like everyone's going to relate to that. I don't see how anybody doesn't enjoy that rhetoric, Mark. Mm-hmm. Marvel feels like it finally feels like Marvel has found, in my opinion, what the female audience, the general female audience, has been looking for. Not the like quirky, nerdy female audience, but just the general, like, you know, my wife or my girlfriend or my friend that wants to watch this with me. She can now watch something that is more geared towards her, and her and I can both get enjoyment out of it. I feel like She-Hulk is scratching that itch for a lot of women, but I could be wrong.
I know, watching with my beautiful wife, Kelly, she, you know, still has gripes with, you know, what She-Hulk's appearance looks like, and the fact that we really haven't gotten the suit drop yet. Like, we're teased that 2 episodes ago and still haven't seen all her outfits.
Yeah, they're going to make sure she does that when Daredevil's on the screen.
Because that's in the trailer where, like, they're on a rooftop. So I'm assuming they must be teaming up, or maybe they fight each other. But, like, for her to put on a suit to go fight, to me, says it's got to be a bad guy that they're going. Maybe that'd be wild if Kingpin appeared, or the leader.
Maybe she thinks Daredevil's the bad guy.
Maybe.
They fight.
Yeah. Is that all they do, Robbie?
Well, yeah.
Moving on. Mark, were you excited that Josh was Hulk King, or did that feel like a layup?
What do you mean? Did
that feel too easy, or did that feel like, yeah, this is who I would expect that character to be? You know, from the Intelligentsia group. This is Hulk King. It's Josh.
Wait, I'm totally blanking right now. Like, okay, who was Josh again? And
Josh was the person that slept with Jen.
Oh, okay, gotcha. He called himself Hulk King. Did I miss that?
Well, on his phone, the phone showed Hulk King as the person sending the tweet,
gotcha.
the text.
I had a feeling the last episode that he had something up his sleeve. So
yeah, it felt convenient.
Yeah, it's like, this guy is just, and that's the whole thing. We want to be like, oh, there's a guy that's interested in Jen for Jen. but then it's like, oh man, I just don't get how she can still be so naive when it comes to people with, and even, I mean, we get it in the first episode where Bruce is like, you can't, let people get your blood type of mentality, where clearly that was foreshadowing to her blood actually getting taken.
100%. Yeah. No, this felt like what was going to happen.
And like now going back to Kingpin, it seems like if someone like that is working for, it has to be working for someone like Kingpin that's willing to, infiltrate and, just appear to be a regular dude. So
I'm just trying to think of like what known characters we have that would want to take her down like that.
And you're saying it's you're hanging your boots up on it's a known character, a known villain.
Well, that's the thing. If it's an unknown character, then it's a science-based AIM. I mean, you've said AIM on this podcast before. I'm just saying, to me, it feels more logical that it would come from Bruce's or Daredevil's conglomerate of villains. Why have Daredevil in it?
Robbie, why would we have Daredevil in it if not to use Kingpin?
That's a really good question. I think maybe it's because Kingpin's in it.
Ooh, that's insight we've been wanting.
It wasn't what he said. It was how he said it. You sounded like somebody after a game, like a sporting event, an athlete, and they're asking him a really dumb question.
Yeah.
A really dumb question. And you just go, that's a really good question. Yeah, no.
It was a really good question. Yeah, I think because we wanted to do that, I think they wanted to get Kingpin in it so they could get Daredevil in it. I think that's,
let's get Charlie Cox, but then it's really Daredevil it's really Kingpin who we want to get. Let's get Charlie Cox, and it's really Daredevil we want to get in the show.
Yeah, so I think that's why they did it. Yeah, I think that makes sense.
This episode is just a little more boring, Mark, but
I would say that for me, it was the episode before. It was the wedding episode that was more boring for me.
Oh, the wedding episode was hilarious. I thought the wedding episode was great.
Because the thing I didn't like is when Titania shows up and like Jen just doesn't like just don't interact with her. Like that's what she wants. It's like I just fail to believe that at this point she's going to give her that time of day. Like how does she not realize that? Like
she's got to use plan ignoring on that. Like you just can't give her the attention. Yeah, it was bad.
Because she was right that she was there to fight her, but
Yeah, she was. We know that.
Yeah, but Max said at the beginning that she doesn't want to fight people, even though she fought Titania at the wedding.
Right. Well, she didn't get punched in the face when she was,
Well, she doesn't. She really doesn't want to fight. She wants to be a lawyer. She doesn't want to fight.
A single female lawyer living in the big city.
You are just such a grouch about this show, Robbie.
What do you mean?
You are such a grouch.
I haven't been a grouch about the show at all.
Can't we just have fun? Can't we just enjoy it?
I was just making a joke.
Just like, how does Jessica go to rom-coms with you? How does she do it? It's a single 30-year-old something in the big city.
Trick question. We don't.
Yeah, Hallmark movies. How do you even watch a Hallmark movie?
Another quick trick question. We don't. She watches them while I record podcasts.
My dad is Santa.
My dad is Santa.
Those are great TikToks.
Yeah, whatever happened to that chick?
She's still making. It's Christmas is coming up soon.
Christmas comes every year.
Her time of the year is coming, man.
Yeah. Robbie, we talk about this every year, but when do you start Christmas? Because Mark and I, it's November 1st. Hard start November 1st.
This year might have been October 1st.
Attaboy. Love
November 1st is acceptable, I will say. But in my household, when growing up, my mom put up the tree after Thanksgiving. So, I'm okay with Christmas music, though. I've been singing Christmas music for a few months now. So,
So, Robbie, then second question. You and your family will put the Christmas tree up on what day?
Typically, whenever we have time in November. I don't think we have really a set day. I can't give you a clear answer to that because
whenever we have time in November is a good answer. I think that's a fair answer.
Yeah.
I like that. All right. Anything else to talk about with She-Hulk, Mark?
How many episodes do we have left?
2.
3?
2.
And that's a hard 2. They're not like kidding with us. Like, actually, those 5 episodes of Daredevil.
So you get 30 seconds of Daredevil and 27 minutes of end credits.
27.
Yes.
That's not a She-Hulk, Kate. That's an MCU Disney.
That's an MCU Disney Plus bit. I get the bit. Yeah, that's a good bit.
It's awful. It's awful that they do that.
They can say all their run times are like 45, 50 minute long, but yeah, you have a 15-minute credits.
Another gripe on that. It's like then we get the previously on She-Hulk, then we get the Marvel credit thing, and then the show starts.
Yeah, the show is always short.
Like we're already 2 minutes in.
We've said that, Mark, for months.
I'm surprised they still do the Marvel thing. Like at this point, do it right away in the beginning, and then
make it a quick one, like they do in Baby Groot.
It doesn't have to be a movie one. They can do a small,
do it the way Baby Groot does it. He did it a funny way.
Yeah.
Hey, Zane, I was looking into getting into this Gunpla thing. There's one called the Unicorn Banshee. What the heck is that all about? Actually, Jared, what you're thinking of is RX-0 Unicorn Gundam 2 Banshee, which is from the Mobile Suit Gundam. Actually, you know what? It's time for nerd news.
Let's dive into some Marvel news here. Tenoch Huerta of the new Black Panther Wakanda Forever. He is playing Namor. He did confirm in an interview 3 days ago that Namor is a mutant. Thoughts on this?
I mean, I guess.
I don't know. Is he considered not a mutant in the comic books? I don't know.
He is a mutant in the comic books. He's one of the first mutants.
So then why is this a...
He just confirmed it. I'm just getting some Marvel news out there. Should we just call it? Should we just be done today? Are we done?
Doesn't seem like a lot of news. Seems like the MCU's kind of. Seems like the MCU's kind of getting a little sad here. That's MCU news.
It's news. That's not MCU news. That's a piece of MCU news.
So that would be MCU news.
Mark, go ahead and talk.
So I just wanted to go into. I'm all right with it. I'm happy that the mutants are coming up. It's like I'm just so like, how are they going to do it in an established world to like not have the actual mutants like working? They have to come from another. It has to be from the incursion and then they combine worlds. It has to be something like that. It's like the only way I think they could do it. But I'll be smitten however they do it. Either way. But my thought, my wild conspiracy with mutants that dive deep into this is I think we're going to get, we talked about it earlier. Dr. Doom's involved in Black Panther 2. That's just, I'm like, I would I'd go all in on that. I think the Fantastic Four is in the quantum realm. And I wouldn't be surprised if they're trying to help the mutants somewhere. And that's how we get mutants. They bring the mutants from a different universe or dimension, or even its incursion world, into the current MCU, and that's how we get mutants involved. Like new mutants, not like the Fox mutants. So
we're not talking anything about Namor, so I'll just go ahead and address it. Yes, he's a mutant. Mutants are coming. We're thankful for that. Namor being a mutant, that is an important piece of his character. I'm glad that they're keeping that with this character. That's what I'll say. I'm glad that they're keeping that with this. It appears that this Black Panther movie is going to do a lot of things right. I'm very hopeful for this movie. It's also supposed to be the longest runtime of Phase 4 with 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Thank the Lord. Very excited for the Black Panther 2 movie. One of the best, still one of the best trailers I would say I've ever seen.
I mean, that music was perfect.
Yeah, it was great.
Do we think we also get an Illuminati nod in this movie too? Like, I feel like in Black Panther with Namor being involved, we have to get a little bit of Illuminati and a little bit of some Fantastic Four stuff.
So, Mark, you've talked Fantastic Four. I have a theory that I wanted to share tonight. And I've thought about this, and this has come in news of Hugh Jackman, and we'll talk about him in a little bit. But I guess for me, I'm starting to have a strong opinion that Kevin Feige is trying to get every major Marvel actor back for one movie. Like I firmly believe that Fantastic Four movie, that first one that was really good, those guys are going to be back. I think we're going to get all of them back, including Chris Evans.
Ooh.
I think there's a chance, Mark, that the part of the reason that they're taking a long time on this Fantastic Four announcement is they're going to bring Chris Evans on the stage and say it's going to be Fantastic Four versus Fantastic Four, or I'm getting
whoa.
That's kind of what I'm thinking here, because
Wait.
You're saying you're putting your chips in that the Fantastic Four movie is going to be a new four Fantastic Four. We already got four.
So we have four Fantastic Four,
the old
versus
four, and
the
they're
Fantastic
fight each other.
What I liked for Robbie was it was like this, and then the second set of four just creeped up from underneath, just like kind of they're coming to get him. The reason I think that that's a possibility is because I just didn't think Hugh Jackman would come back, and the fact that Tobey Maguire is in this, and Sir Patrick Stewart was in it. And Mark, you and I, we joked years ago, I thought there was no way that was possible. I just think there's a chance that this Fantastic Four movie is, if it is like in a place like the quantum realm or the negative zone or just somewhere else, there's a chance that other group could pop up. Or at the bare minimum, we're going to see that other Fantastic Four group. Maybe that's the bigger theory I'm saying here.
And like we got in Loki, where Kang is like, yeah, the other Kangs, we all got together and created the TVA type of stuff. Reed Richards did that first with his people.
And it would be really, really cool, in my opinion. And I'm going to pull his name up just real quick, just to make sure I say the actor's name right. I just personally think Ian Grufford. Juan Grufford? How do you say his name? How do you say that actor's name?
You mean the first, or not the first, but like the Fox?
Ian Grufford? Oh, forgive me. I don't even know how to pronounce his name, bro. He's from Wales. Okay. Anyway, the first Fantastic Four, Reed Richards. Forgive me. I am butchering it. I know, there's no way. I just think there's a real chance that he could be the big bad. Another candidate for the big bad is this actor, because, as you said, Mark, all the Reed Richards started this whole process in the incursion lines. But there's a big bad Reed. It would be kind of cool if that was the one, and then Chris Evans could be Human Torch bad versus Captain America bad, right? I just think there's a chance that we could see that other Fantastic Four group. I would love to see them in that Fantastic Four movie as a foil to the old group. Excuse me.
How do you feel about the Fantastic group?
No.
Okay.
We're just gonna ignore Fantastic.
I think he's ignoring Fantastic.
Because then you could, like, if Chris Evans is coming back to be the flaming torch or whatever, then
Miles Teller.
It has Miles Teller.
Miles Teller could be that guy. Yeah,
but then the guy that played Killmonger, Michael B. Jordan, could also come back as Human Torch. So now you have two Human Torches that have already been in the MCU.
I think Fantastic is not going to count as the pantheon of major Marvel movies. But I do think that first Fantastic Four movie does count, Mark. And I think there's a chance that we could see them somehow pop up in that other movie. That's all I'm saying.
I would say that seems unlikely.
If it doesn't happen in the Fantastic Four movie, I'm willing to wager that it would happen in Secret Wars.
Are the four Fantastic Four people the Fantastic Four that's going to be in the MCU? Are they coming from the same universe? Like, are they becoming the Fantastic Four, or are we getting Fantastic Four who maybe lost their universe to come into to the one that's beaten set? Where do we stand on that?
I think they're in the negative zone.
But like they didn't originally come from 616.
No, I think they're from our universe.
So you are saying they're from our universe?
Yeah, I think they're. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. I think they're from our universe. I think they've been in the negative zone for years.
But they are like they went in as scientists and came back.
Correct. They will come back into our universe 616.
But then you're saying there's two Chris Evans?
No, I'm saying. You're talking about the first Fantastic movie.
Well, not me.
Oh, that's what you were saying, Mark.
No.
Oh, okay. I'm
I'm
sorry.
saying like how the Fantastic Four gets introduced into the MCU. Are they do we get like an origin in the MCU with them, or were they already established from another universe and then happen to come into ours?
No, I think they're from our universe and they get an origin.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I would say I agree with Max. I feel like it would get really muddy if they were from like another universe. Because then, yeah.
Well, you mean that Doctor Strange and the evil Doctor Strange was in a different universe, so like
Sure.
that could happen.
Sure.
That could someone could go with them.
But the Fantastic Four are gonna have to be like a staple. I feel like
They're way too big of a character, Mark. They're gonna whoever those people are going to be the center points for this universe after that movie.
Look, I get it. You're lazy, and coffee from the grocery store is just as good as ordering from somewhere like Mini World's Tavern, right? Wrong! That's dumb, and you should feel so dumb for thinking that. Does your local grocery store donate a portion of their proceeds to charity? Actually, if they do that, that is kind of awesome. But we guarantee that Mini World's Tavern does that. Besides, it's not like your grocery store provides an amazing monthly blend with added RPG-themed bonuses. That's a limited edition Mini World's Tavern exclusive, baby. They are the online coffee brand that's perfect for game night. Guys, I should know. Before every podcast and every time I go live on Twitch, I fill an entire bathtub full of Great Old One, and I do my best Lord Harkonnen impression. Guys, grab a bag for yourself right now. Go to www.miniworldstavern.com/theinfinitybros, all one word. And guess what? You're going to save yourself 10% at checkout.
Mark Ruffalo and talks to appear in Captain America New World Order. Mark, you and I thought for the longest time that this had to be Captain America being evil or, multiverse, another world. This appears to be looking like a different movie now that the leader's in it. What are your thoughts on this?
Either we're getting a leader as a villain again, or he really wasn't, but like an actual villain, or it's a swerve to throw us off the scent that Kevin Feige's so good at doing.
Robbie, do you agree or subscribe to that?
I don't even know who's the leader. I need to know who. I need that information.
The leader is the villain who originated from the first Incredible Hulk movie, the one who had Hulk's blood drop on his head. High level intellect. Would probably be the highest level intellect on the planet now that Tony Stark's dead. So it'd be more of it appears that would be more of a espionage thriller where Sam Wilson is having to battle somebody who's probably 5-6 steps ahead of him.
That would be interesting. I would be entertained by that because I think I really enjoyed the Captain America movies. Yeah, I'd be down for that. Let's do that.
Done.
Okay, so if they're going to bring back the leader as a villain, do you think they'll bring Samson in? Because the guy from Modern Family,
yeah,
he plays
Phil,
Samson in that. So
I love that, but probably not.
If they're like bring him back to be Samson, that'd be.
He's a great character in the comics too.
Mm-hmm.
Good question. We'll find out. The big one, the moneymaker, the reason you're here, it'll be headlined on this episode. Deadpool 3 is confirmed with Hugh Jackman coming back as Wolverine. Let's go ahead and rate this reveal. Robbie, we'll start with you. Rate the reveal from Ryan Reynolds.
Dude, anything Ryan Reynolds does is a 6 out of 6. It's 100% a 6 out of 6. It's just Ryan Reynolds could just do a video where he just sits there and looks into the camera, and then he could just say Deadpool 3.
He makes videos like that. Like, I'm sure that was on the table.
Yeah, and I'd be like, hell yeah, 6 out of 6. Like,
it's happening.
Right. And you just have or he just stares at the camera for 3 minutes and the end goes Hugh. And then a Deadpool 3 thing pops up.
You're so right on that. He literally could have done that. It could have been him looking at the screen for 10 seconds. And then he looks over his shoulder.
10 minutes.
And then it's just the Deadpool emblem, and then the claws going through it, and he looks back at the screen and he's like, we're doing it finally. And that could have been it, and then people would have lost their minds.
Or it could have even been just him starting to say Hugh, but he just goes and then it like cuts off, and then it's just the Deadpool logo, like, because that seems like something they would totally do. Like
the fact that they not only did the trailer they did, 6 out of 6 for me, but then they got Hugh Jackman to walk like up the stairs because they do another one the next day. We'll talk about that.
Well, they live together.
There you go. But it appears to me that it's the house from Logan.
Oh, I didn't dive that deep into it.
It looked like the stairs from Logan in the house, the scene where the clone comes down the stairs. 6 out of 6 for me too. Mark, what were your thoughts?
6 out of 6. I mean, if I could give it a 7 out of 7, I would, but there's only 6 Infinity Stones.
We only have 6 Infinity Stones. So then the next day, they release another trailer and confirm, they double down. Yes, Hugh Jackman is in it, even though it felt to me like the first trailer was pretty much confirming it.
Yeah.
For some reason, some people did not fully understand that. So they double down on that. They did articulate that they're leaving everything that happened in Logan alone. Is this good news or bad news to you as a fan, Mark?
I guess neither. Like, to me, it wouldn't matter. Like, because technically that happens in a different universe. So in reality, he could, like, are we getting Hugh Jackman playing Wolverine from that universe? The like split universe that is Logan, or are we getting him from Days of Future Past? Like, when is he being plucked out? That's the question.
It's not going to mess with that timeline. That's all they're saying. But the Fox timeline is so convoluted that I don't think it's difficult to not mess with the timeline.
So I don't think you can.
Sure.
It's so screwed up.
Yeah, this is the biggest hurdle this movie has to do. Other than that, this appears to be the easiest $1 billion Disney will make on their slate.
That's my other question. Or one more. Like, is Hugh Jackman playing the Wolverine from the Fox universe, or is he just playing Wolverine from a different universe?
I don't know, but don't care.
That's different because I still think it's different because his character is so based on what he has dealt. So, like, I would be okay with, like, oh, Days of Future Past happens, and then Deadpool's like, we got to get out of here. The world's collapsing. And, like, that's what happens.
I think people won't care, Mark.
Yeah, I'm kind of with that.
I don't think people are going to care, Mark. I think it's Hugh Jackman one more time. Let's do it.
You better be wearing his yellow suit.
Mark, that's what I'm saying. Kevin Feige is going to finish what Fox could not do. He's going to put that man in that suit. You can go ahead and put all the money on that.
Okay, here's the thing. So we have that end credit scene where like Deadpool shows up and shoots like other Deadpool from the Logan movie, or not Logan, from was that one? What was that one called? Wolverine or the Wolverine? What was that one called? There was a bunch of them.
X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Yeah, it was X-Men Origins Wolverine. And he just shoots him. Like, could it not be that like Deadpool is like fourth wall breaking and like just takes him from there? Could he just come from there?
That easy.
It's just that easy. I mean, but like he's already like Deadpool's already been there. Like, I think people would just be like, yeah, this is acceptable. And then they just move on. Like, he's Logan. Like, he went through all that trauma. I think that's enough trauma for us to keep. And then we just move on from there.
See, this is also a movie I don't want to know anything about.
Oh,
I just want to know that there's a release date. Hugh Jackman's in it as Wolverine.
Yeah.
And it's Deadpool. Like, that's all I want. I don't want any plot.
I don't care if there's a plot. It's just those two.
This movie has the easiest job of all time.
Yeah.
I don't even think you have to think that deep on it.
No.
I know why they're going to put him in the suit, because the man's probably at an age where he can't get that body as, muscular and tight. So putting him in that suit is even an easier decision for Daddy Feige.
No, dude, Hugh Jackman is still jacked. He's just skinnier now.
Well, I know
100% chance he ends up in that suit. There is no way that movie gets made.
I feel like he's going to be in the suit, but it's going to be like for a bit, Like, it's just going to be for like Deadpool putting him in it. Like, he's going to be like, you have to wear this leather or something like that. Like
this yellow spandex.
No, I think they're going to gallivant him in all of them, Robbie. I think they're going to put him in the orange one. I think they're going to put him in the black and gray one with the red eyes. And then I think the end will be his yellow one, his classic yellow one.
Do you think they're just Deadpool suits that he's just like handing him? Like,
yeah, maybe.
They make it like look like Deadpool stuff, but they just like, this is all
Hugh Jackman for sure is wearing that suit, guys. Like, that is so easy.
How many times in that movie is Deadpool going to call him Hugh Jackman?
Oh man,
Oh, at least 2 times.
That's a Vegas bet. I want to know. What are the Vegas odds on
over on that bet?
The over under on that is 11 and a half.
Sure, Hugh. Nope. I mean, Logan, Hugh, Logan. Damn it, Logan, Hugh.
Yeah, they're fighting, shooting people. Hugh, dang it, Logan.
Logan, damn it.
Yeah, that like Logan, damn it line for sure is in that script, no question. That's great. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, this was so random too. Like, it's so good. Good job, Ryan Reynolds. This is exactly. I'm glad they didn't do it at D23, guys. I'm really glad they did it with. I just think the Deadpool brand, keep it away from Disney as much as you can. Keep it R-rated. Keep it away from Disney. It's Absolutely. The only. Don't let it be near Disney. Disney's producing it, but just keep the Disney execs away from it.
Keep Mickey out of it.
Keep Mickey away from it. And then finally, the other big news right now that's coming out is Mahershala. So this is the rumor. The official news is the old director of Blade is out. So there is no director currently being held. Some publications are saying it's going to take till December to start up. Others are saying January. Others are saying February. So somewhere in that December to February time is when Blade will begin production. They're looking at directors. There's nobody else. It's just rumors. But now Mahershala Ali is articulating his frustration over this film. These are rumors. Again, we don't know what Mahershala Ali thinks. Is this, Robbie, you've talked about the MCU is in trouble. Is this like a sign that the MCU is really in trouble, or is this just this production looks poor?
It is the fall of the MCU. I know we just got this great news with Deadpool and Wolverine, and that's great. That's great. But this is the fall right here. You get this great news? Fall. It's over. The MCU is over. This is the MCU's new. This is the Black Adam of the MCU. This is you have this great actor in the perfect role, and you're not going to be able to get it done well. It's going to be crap. Just like Dwayne Johnson playing Black Adam. Like, sure, we've all wanted it and we're excited for it, but it took 8 years, and I don't care, and it's probably going to be garbage. Let's follow the MCU. Starts now, boys. It started at Phase 4, actually. Phase 4 is the start of the MCU.
If you can get everybody in one movie, that movie's going to be pretty well attended. That's
Fall of the MCU. Boys, you've heard it here first. By someone definitely not trying to get DC to do better than that.
They're not good.
Definitely.
From Little Red.
This is Little Red. You Patreon subscribers get that joke. Little Red telling you that the MCU's fallen. And here comes DC. Oh boy, you better watch out.
Or this could be a
here we go.
By Mahershala Ali to like make sure Disney's aware that this
like don't F it up.
Script's crap.
Yeah.
And he's like, you need to get someone that's going to do a lot better than what's currently being done.
It sounds to me like that first script was not good because they're basically rewriting it.
Yeah.
Who directed the first Blade movie?
And it's going to be a movie now, right? It's not going to be a TV series.
It was always going to be a movie. I think originally when we first heard about it years ago, I thought it was going to be a TV show. So that's why you had that idea.
That would have been a mistake.
I'm a big, dumb idiot.
Yeah.
Finally,
finally,
in news that kind of felt out of left field, but it's, I mean, when you hear all this other stuff, it really matches up now.
There's more.
Armor Wars now, War Machines originally was going to be a Disney Plus series, is now being a feature film. 2 questions. 1, is this a good thing? 2, does this confirm Justin's Hammer's in it? Because Mark, that's my opinion.
You know, it's so funny you bring that up because my beautiful wife Kelly and I talked about this, where if they're going to make this a movie, they're bringing him in.
I agree.
Like, you don't, yeah, yep. You don't get that guy back if it's not going to be a big movie. So.
Yeah, I just feel like that's the reason they're doing it. I think they realized we have a little, and also too, Mark, I think they realized, hey, our script does not need to be 7 hours long. It needs to be 2.5 or 2.
And it might also be them realizing, like, oh, we can go back to movies or back to the theater and make money off of movies again and not be teetering.
Sure. They don't have to build the Disney Plus brand anymore. People are stuck on it with Star Wars.
Armor Wars really sounds like something that should have been a show, but it does make sense that would have maybe been difficult to do in, well, I guess it wouldn't have even been 7 hours. Really, the MCU projects are really only, 3.5 hours if you add them all together. So
3 to 4.5.
So, yeah, I think, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me that Armor Wars is getting its own movie when I feel like if I had to choose any of these MCU shows to have been movies, like Loki would have been the one, because King seems like the biggest deal out of all of them. So yeah, I would say it's a little questionable. I don't know. That doesn't seem like the best idea, but maybe it's because they want another like Iron Man replacement, and they think people will go for that. So I don't know.
Odds. RDJ shows up in this movie,
like as a flashback or like alive.
Oh wow, I didn't even think about that. Both.
A flashback, I would say high odds, like over 60%. As like alive, I would say very low odds, under 5%. Unless that's how you get people to come see Armor Wars.
Mark, I think there's a chance we're going to see him as a holograph in this.
Like a
hologram,
living AI,
hologram.
in a sense.
Yeah.
Like a living AI.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I've always felt like they're going to do that eventually. I think I've always thought they're going to let RDJ have a couple of years off and then bring him back just to come in the studio and do his thing.
So RDJ has to do like a day or two of work, get millions of dollars, and then leave.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I've always felt that.
Here's your 30 million, RDJ. All right.
Bye. Thanks for building the MCU. Goodbye.
And that is our Marvel news.
Yeah, that's a lot of news. That's a lot of news.
What's that news, dog?
This Little Red coming at you with all this news.
We got all this news for you guys.
Yeah.
Found it on the street.
Here it is. Here's your Little Red Marvel update. That's a good bit. It's a good bit.
Well, Mark, thank you for coming on episode 136.
Always love coming with you, Max.
Oh my gosh. Robbie, thank you for coming on. I'm
just happy to be here, and this is so enjoyable.
And thank you, Infinity Bros Universe, wherever you listened, however you listened. Thanks for making us part of your podcast experience. You can check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, and Discord. You can also check out our Patreon page and hear 30 minutes of exclusive content that happened right before the show, and maybe get some of the inside jokes that were said today. So, as always, we'll leave you guys 3,000. We'll talk to you later. See ya. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the Infinity Bros podcast. You can find the Infinity Bros on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at the Infinity Bros. Feel free to send listener feedback via email at infinitybrospodcast@gmail.com.